All right, welcome in, welcome in. How's everybody doing? Ow! Popped my funny bone on the table and wasn't funny. It didn't make me laugh, but I come from a generation we could be tough. We could take stuff. Just kidding, but true. There's some truth to it. Um, but welcome, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this one. This will be a special off the cuff. It will actually interrupt regularly scheduled programming, which was going to be here, but it will be after this one. I had to jump in. As you know, I do the two by twos now. I mean, 2 days videos, 2 days off, two in a row videos, 2 days off to let them simmer. And I appreciate the traction that the one got with Miss Webb, Whitney Webb. I do have two more videos to follow. Hers got preempted, but will not be forgotten. The two should follow this one, unless I try to do it something different, which I've thought about going. This is an off-the-cuff special. And why I'm doing the off-the-cuff special is because there's a lot of things happening in the 2 days since you see my last recording, and I think it's worth talking about and getting into today, the two. So, but welcome in. Whitney Webb left us with a lot of positive things. I try to do this as a puzzle, these videos, like telling a story. This side connected to this side. We went from the election and every aspect of it to the celebrations and the traditions, rituals that were practiced in those segments, and then into showing you the bloodlines, blue bloods, and all that connected into what she was showing you. And this is really connected to that, but it's showing you what's happening of what's coming next. Not really, but this is what will be, because you have to be gained confidence that the right things are being done. You can't come in and hijack it right away after it's been hijacked. In literally what we've seen in the last 4 or 5 years is stupidity, really, where everybody felt threatened. Unless you felt threatened, I don't know what to say. It's like start over. Your rights were being violated. The borders were open. What we've seen with getting shots mandatory, which is illegal and against your civil rights and liberties, 110% violated facts, to what's coming out now. And I've been saying for months, we're in disclosure. You don't hear the word anymore. He's a conspiracy theorist. It's not being said. Not at all. Why isn't it being said? Because everything's in disclosure, from all the recent stuff, especially since January 20th, January, with everything being signed. And also, if you really pay attention to what I do here, if you're new, I'm not saying one side's right and one side's wrong. I'm saying they're both the same. But also we have to go through the process to get the halves, because full truth is not half truth. And this is even an alchemy in our raising of consciousness. When we come into a revelation and we go to the next level of an understanding of something, we understand there's a hermetic law that says we live in a dualistic reality. Once you understand dualism, it's a paradox. The revelation of duality it's a paradox, meaning unification, unity of one, two verses, duality, against. Two teams versus, right? Verse. Dodgers, Yankees, verse. Dodgers versus Yankees. Cowboys versus Redskins, Commanders, right? If you understand, Celtics versus Lakers, the verse. And the unity is the unity of one. We're all one and connected. The universe, telling you it's a duality immediately, that you can harmonize, but even within us, we go through this process of understanding how duality works. I remember times when I used to come into this, get a revelation, and be like, oh God, I'd run with it. Through experience and maturity, I had to learn through my mentorship within, because we weren't being mentored in this, not like mystery schools would. I understood, you've got to balance out the other side to make the whole truth because of the duality. Meaning if you play the victim, there has to be a what? There has to be a perpetrator to show up. And 99.9% of the time, you are the victim and perpetrator within here. But what I wanted to show you is what's been happening these 2 or 3 days of no videos. This is going to be the first one kicking off, I believe, on the 20th. Then we'll get a Whitney Webb, and then I'll decide, because I got another Whitney Webb, some other good stuff. I'm laying the foundation for what's the major thing after. And we talked about it, Whitney Webb's disclosure. I know some people know this. It's kind of, we have to be ready for what's coming, but also balance our stay in ourself and our power, because you can easily go outside yourself and get angry because you've been done wrong. You are a victim. But if you play the victim, there's no victory, because it's a very dwindling thing. You have to empower yourself, and empowering yourself, the victim and perpetrator has to be deleted. If you don't play the victim, there is no perpetrator, and you're going and raising yourself, your frequency and vibration into different timelines. But anyways, that's not what we're here for today. This is kind of an off-the-cuff special. Everything is in disclosure. It really is. So I am seeing how this is exploding in disclosure. And the main things that are exploding in disclosure is the misuse of money and funds by Doge, right? With the combing through by Elon Musk. Not saying he's not at all, as you know. I know both sides. I'm the one that made videos showing you what MAGA means. And then also, we're seeing that everything's on disclosure, that the IRS is gonna probably be, the school system, gone, right? I'm gonna share 2 very short videos that are popping up everywhere, and there's thousands, there's a lot more going on X, Twitter, Instagram, some Facebook, about how this is really happening, and it's not being blocked, it's being said. Videos of former doctors just within the 24 hours showing about the results of what COVID really is out on full-blown blast now. It is. Of what many of us knew what it was and didn't get the jooby, that stuff. Because some of us knew better. And if you didn't, I'm going to praise them who knew and stood strong. You guys are awesome. You guys were strong. And if you did get it, my heart's out to you, but it's not over. You can do some cleansings on yourself. And many people I know got the beginning and then were like, no, this is not right. This is not wrong. This is bizarre. Something's not right. We had a lot of injuries from this. I know of, I just admit I definitely have loved ones that's affected. And I have definitely close people to me who passed not from the vid, from the V that came after the vid. So if you know what I mean, I probably can say it now because everything seems to be in disclosure. Nobody's blocking anything you're saying. I mean, before people were getting X and videos taken down. It's not happening now. But anyways, before I said anything, I had mentioned this on the last few videos. Just because somebody tells you the truth don't mean they're on your club. Know that. Because usually that's a front for something else backhanded. And Whitney Webb is letting us know that, and I still got 2 more videos for that. This is coming clear too, but also this part's coming clear and happening now. It's coming into full disclosure with every change that there is. It's like they're just dumping the truth on us, and every aspect of this, and it's not being denied from the videos of Kennedy, from the things of Martin Luther, which people, when find out the truth about Martin Luther, you're going to go, oh my God, it's not anything you expected. I've known this for about 8 months. Because I know there's a guy that wrote a book, African or a black guy. I like to say African American because I doubt that the ship a lollipop ever came over here. To be honest with you, not doubt. I pretty much know that. Or the ship Jesus came over here from Africa. But anyways, that's another discussion. But anyways, but he was a darker skinned gentleman. Wrote a video. Wrote a book about the in and outs of what was going behind that, and behind the Kennedy, and all this is going to come in disclosure, and you're going to see things that you didn't expect. There's so much being shown about the vaccine, and just not that one, the previous ones of what was in them and why we see different diseases manifest now that wasn't back for your parents or grandparents, wasn't happening. Autism at a, since the 80s, it's went into a very accelerated rate. Why, when my generations, we got a few vaccines, why they're getting over 70 and powering in the mothers and babies. This is going on full disclosure on Instagram, Facebook, some YouTube, and definitely it's out there. Videos of doctors talking about it, doctors who were silenced during the beginning of 19. This is on full bore. And this is why we're doing off the cuff. It's a little bit more organized off the cuff. I'm going to share 2 videos, very short, not long, because they're Instagram videos. They're not from YouTube. I try to look at YouTube. They're not as much there. They're talking about it more. It's more like the political aspect of it. Certain people talking about it. If I find some there, I will say it, but it's really, the videos are really, let me make sure I have them first, because I know I did, but I didn't check the share before I got here. Let me check my share. They should be, and they are. So let's share and do this. All right, let's do this one first. It's this one. We're gonna do this one. So this is from, definitely from Instagram that I had found a few days ago. I personally, I do this video off of my laptop. I don't do any, what can I say? I don't do anything on my laptop with social media. All my social media for me is on my phone. My laptop, it doesn't have any social media. So I had to email this to me to put it forth on my recording this day. And so we have it. Let's listen to this. This is about our health. And you guys have many times heard me say, talk about the school board, right? And I did a video on the school board, proving the school board, the 1907 school board meeting, showing you what school really was. And when you do that, when you see that, here's something I don't talk as much about, because we were getting very much cut off. And when we mentioned this, you were getting marked, and you were having to do code words like I did with jibby jabby. I guess now I'm going to say the jab, the vaccine. It seems to be just okay, because everything's in disclosure, truth. Your rights, actually, you would say your rights are being honored. What's your constitutional rights being an American, United States? Remember, blue bloods will always be blue bloods, and games will always be games. And truth, like I said, them who show you truth aren't always on your truth team looking out for your best interest. Just remember that, even though they may disclose truth. But anyways, this one is again against Mr. Rockefeller, but this is something I knew and have really never did a video about, but this is your history on why you have the meds you have. You guys ready? Let's roll it.
The John D. Rockefeller seized U.S. media. He also hijacked U.S. medicine. When it was discovered that drugs could be produced from petroleum, America's top oil mogul ordered his army of propagandists to invert reality accordingly. Medicines used for thousands of years were suddenly classified as
medicines used for thousands of years that did something that special. They cured people, which we don't see anymore. But listen, I'm just telling you, this is what's going on. This is the stuff that's everywhere. Everywhere. Even them talking about BG in Seattle with that huge, that biggest needle in the world in Washington where he lives at, right? Videos coming out about doctors telling them how they're silenced, doctors talking about this on all your social medias. If you're on it, it's out there, folks, everywhere. No, it's all it's all in disclosure. It's being told.
Alternative. While the new, petroleum-based, highly addictive, and patentable drugs were declared the gold standard. After buying a German pharmaceutical company that manufactured chemicals of war for Adolf Hitler, Rockefeller leveraged his political influence by pressing Congress to declare natural healing modalities unscientific quackery. Rockefeller then took control of the American Medical Association and began offering massive grants to top medical schools under the mandate that only his approved curriculum be taught.
That's what I was talking about. 1907 school board meeting. Your education system is interconnected to the Rockefeller Foundation and his control and power. He's been like the West Coast guy. America's guy of where it comes on higher than that. Many of you know what I'm talking about. From all roads lead to the aspects of all these secret societies and all that, and plans like the 1890, 1886 book we did a video on, the disclosure by Albert Pike on all their plans from the Russian Revolution to World War III. I did a video on that. It's in his book, and everything from then to now has happened what's in the book. So you see right here that the very thing, that's why I keep talking about AI and what's coming with AI and all this. This is inorganic stuff. They attack the meds, which were organic, Mother Nature, to replace them with this stuff. And I'm being very kind because I can get the fire can come out of me with this kind of quackery done by people with power. That's where I can get in a little frustrated, and I can just be honest with you, I can get pissed off because I know what they did and how they did it. And that's why one of the reasons I got to definitely integrate my anger and use it for certain aspects, because I'm a very empath and I'm a protector. That's my soul. And when I see this being done, it really steams me, because I've had dreams where I've lived other lifetimes in about 400 years span. I had a dream of living 16, 17, 18, 1900s in different lives, and in the 1800s, excuse me, not the 19, it was 15, 16, 17, and 18, late 1800s, the Queen threw me in a dungeon. But I came out of that dungeon and had power in the dream. Just letting you know that this wasn't one of those dreams. No. I'm talking high spiritual, in your solar plan, in the astral plane, doing some traveling, and your lucidness. You had experience and remembered it. This dream appeared to be 100 years. It was probably, who knows how long it was in this state of plane, of maybe a 10-minute dream. It felt like I was going through decades and decades of this aspect in my dream. And I've seen this before. And actually, if I told you what she told me to do when I was let out of the thing, she said, you have a mic, you can go speak, you need to go teach, people love you. And she said, just don't say one word, and it's the one, you know who word. If you don't know what I need, you know who, just let you know that it definitely goes with the word jewel. But anyways, let's listen on. But his 1907 school board meeting, and Rockefeller hijacked your meds. And you wonder why our grannies and grandfathers, mothers and fathers had suffered with pain and that. It's from this. Nature was, and the attack on nature that has been going on by these inorganic folks from on high that are undercover running this reality in the 3D reality, because they're not spiritual beings and not willing to pay the price into the higher state of being, just wanting to manage and control the 3D physical lower reality form. That's all they're caring about. They're not doing the alchemical work that you guys do. Think about it. Think about this. Some people will just kill if you tell them to, but will you? Think about it. You're not just a one-trick pony in one life. Let's get off that indoctrination from Rome. And if you are, you're good. You in your way and who you are as a person, you don't do certain things because you have this light and empathy and caring that some don't. It's one thing to be defensive to save yourself or save somebody from something and killing them. I'm just going to be honest, self-defense. That's a big difference than just let us do this so we can have our way and project what we want to do. This is what power does when it corrupts, and absolute power corrupts. And so look at this, listen to this.
Any mention of the healing powers of herbs, plants, and diet was erased from most medical textbooks. Doctors and professors.
I'm going to be truthful, and this is why you see the medical field as it is, and I've been saying this for a long time, and say it's a joke. They don't heal nobody. I won't go on. Just listen. You get my drift.
Professors who objected to Rockefeller's plan were crucified by the media, removed from the AMA, and stripped of their license to teach and practice medicine.
Wow.
Those who dared to speak out were arrested and jailed.
This wasn't during COVID. This is a long time
When
ago.
evidence began to emerge that petroleum-based medicines were causing cancer, Mr. Rockefeller founded the American Cancer Society, through which he suppressed that information.
That's a very short one. It's just an Instagram. Yeah, this is being revealed. It's all in disclosure. Yeah, I had a long talk with one. Let's look at the other video before we keep going. This is one that this young gentleman did, and then did the homework when he went into maybe one of your favorite. He's saying it's really, and I know it is. I think I've eaten there once. I haven't much. And I'm really staying away from that kind of stuff, even though I know that it's there, right? We all have, let's just be honest, we've all eaten it. When you're conscious enough, you might try, but listen to his story. This is really good, interesting.
Sandwich, please. Thank you so much.
This is the famous Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich.
The chicken contains something called sodium aluminum phosphate, which is an additive that contains aluminum, which is known for neurological diseases. Next is soybean oil. This is one of the worst seed oils, which is linked to causing obesity, inflammation, autoimmune diseases, cancer, and cardiovascular disease. You also have something called dimethyl polysiloxane, which is an industrial fluid used in breast implants and nail polish. Let's talk about the buttery bun next. Firstly, it's made of enriched wheat flour, which is an ultra-processed wheat flour, which they basically has zero fiber. All this is going to do is spike your blood sugar and have you crash after. The buttery bun, in fact, actually has zero butter on it. It actually is made of butter-flavored soybean oil and palm oil. If you look at the ingredient list, you will not find butter on it. It's foods like this that are killing us, making us sick, fat, and unhealthy, and hooked to pharmaceutical drugs that keep us sick. No wonder why 93% of adults today are metabolically unhealthy. Well, at least they're closed on Sundays, right?
Wow. There you go. And why I did this video today is this is on full disclosure. It's not being stopped. It's not being taken down. And I don't know if any of you who have, I'm not a big Facebook person. I'm a little bit more on Instagram because Facebook to me is, I don't know, I know the same people own it, but I'm not so much on that as I am Instagram, because for me, it's to get to the point on Instagram. And I find a lot more stuff that's just not fluff on, that's on fluff on Facebook. But it's out there, and this is just a bite size of everything. I've seen Peter McCullough back on, the doctor who was fighting back in 2019. And then what I found interesting in the video about the fella, and he ain't Rock. He ain't the Rock, is he was silencing them back then, like we were in 2019 on social media. We've seen it, of course, on Facebook, and we've seen it even definitely with this fact checkers on Facebook, which is the biggest joke, and I knew it was a joke then. And even him now being challenged, but being part of your dream team, of which I did a video on, the billion dollar boys club, because what I see, or when I hear what's his name owns Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, is his apology on Facebook was so ingenuous. It's like, are you soulless? And we're talking about AI. Soulless, because there is no genuinity connection in his apology, but he's part of the good guy club now. And of course, but this is all out everywhere. You can put it on everywhere, share it on anywhere, and I noticed that this is being not taken down. It is, but this disclosure makes me wonder, and I will talk about what I wonder in future videos on some theories I have, but it definitely is. It's going to endear most Americans to the new regime, which they ran to them because the left ran them to them, because the left was so, as I've said many times, you had Sloppy Joe and you had Kamala who couldn't rub two quarters together, let alone two thoughts, and cackles. And all that went with it, and opened a border with their fingers in their ears. It's just like, that would ran most people to the other side, right? And that's because they're looking for common sense, and that's understandable when you don't know. But when you know how these folks work, and Whitney Webb's telling us, what the plan is. But so you're going to have some good and common sense are coming out of this. I mean, there's some other stuff that's getting ready to happen. You guys are going to get rid of, going to see some stuff happening more. Social Security, IRS may be banished or gone in a way, IRS. My question will be, and we'll get into on a few other things, what will tariffs really be? And I already see it. If you tariff everybody, which will take care of our taxes, right? And you're pushing that we're going to run all our business, we're going to be self-sufficient. But if you do get anything from any other countries because you're tariffing on them, Canada and Mexico, your neighbors, what are they going to do? They're going to flush this price way up because they're pissed off because you're tariffing them. It's a game. It's monopoly. It's a non-monopoly board. But I just had to share you guys because this has gone in this week since Monday, full gear, next level of disclosure everywhere on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube some. YouTube not as much, but you can find it. When you go YouTube, it's more like showing the beginning of it. Now it's showing when you go to the others, it's more, you got the doctor speak, you got this young man making a video and breaking down and showing you his screen and breaking down the ingredients in the burger, showing you what it is and how it's not real. We've been eating fake food. No wonder we got autism. I look at our young people, so much obesity. What's been in the food and what's been in the injections that causing this. And that's what's coming out, folks. It's really, really health, wasteful money spending and all that. And you guys, from what I'm gathering, are going to get opportunities to get stimuluses. And it will make the $1,400 stimulus look like a lunch. It's going to be more than that, from what I'm hearing. And don't be surprised to see SSI changes as they're combing through that. And that's coming out, that all the wasteful spending that they were spending millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars with the Social Security Department on people who have been dead, passed away already, and they were paying out to them, and who was getting that money and who were they paying out to, which is the other story that connects to this, right? This is we're being told and what's being happened. And don't be surprised with the payback of this that you Social Securities and you seniors get increases in the long run. Even I wouldn't surprise anywhere from, depending how much money you make, anywhere from 30 to 70% increases, depending how much you make. The less you make, the more they increase. So just telling you, this is everywhere. This is my off the cuff. Disclosure is everywhere. Disclosure is everywhere. And this is off the cuff. You guys have a great, great day. And remember, be aware, because you're off the cuff too.